Right here at the beginning of the video, I want to be upfront with you. This video is going to be a lot of information, but I encourage you to stick around for the full discussion because you're probably going to learn some things about sidearms today. It's going to maybe change what you think you know in a lot of cases and how you perceive certain archetypes. And in one case, it may actually make you go check your postmaster right now. I'm going to be unpacking a lot of stuff in this video, and I love talking about sidearms, so let's get to it. Last weekend, Bungie made the adept version of the new Trials sidearm, the Forgiveness, available for players to obtain. And during that time, I managed to snag numerous versions of the gun, and I kept 4 that I really wanted to mess around with. I had previously uploaded a video unpacking my thoughts on the Forgiveness when we did not yet have the adept version to play with, and I still stand by a lot of what I said in that video. Just as a quick recap, in that video I noted that the Forgiveness is the absolute best in class aggressive 2-round burst sidearm in the game statistically. It has the best range value, the best stability value, the best handling value, the best aim assist, and the best aerial effectiveness stat value as well. So basically, the gun is a stat monster that dwarfs the other sidearms in its subfamily. But the drawback is that the perk pool is extremely lackluster. There are some good combinations for sure in the perk pool, but almost every top shelf perk for sidearms is notably missing on the Forgiveness. So that's a quick recap. And because of that, I basically said that the gun is really good, but it could be exceptional if Bungie had included better top shelf perks for the weapon. Now, recently, my good friend Cool Guy posted a video on his channel unpacking his thoughts on the sidearm, and he noted the exact 2 things that I had mentioned as well. The stats are incredible, the perk pool is a real swing and a miss, but his final verdict, in my opinion, was a little bit harsher than mine, and his feelings are echoed, I know, by a lot of gamers in the Destiny community as well. Most people are noting the fact that the Drang exists in the same energy slot, making the Forgiveness a complete waste of time for most people. They ask the question, why would you ever run a sidearm that is not Drang in the energy slot? And that's a fair question. But I'm going to take a moment to rebuff that point a little bit. And just know that when I do, there are a couple of things you ought to keep in mind. My opinion on a sidearm is not gospel, okay? It's just an opinion. But I think it's important to note that I absolutely love sidearms. I use a very wide variety of sidearms and I have ever since Destiny 1, when sidearms launched later in the game's life. I currently have over 71,000 lifetime final blows with sidearms in Destiny 2 across all archetypes and subfamilies of sidearms. So my opinion on sidearms is certainly reinforced by a whole lot of time using them. I'm not a novice or just spitting, worthless opinions on the internet about these things. When I offer thoughts on the Forgiveness sidearm, I will say this: disregard its novelty. In spite of how recently it came out, I've actually already racked up over 1,500 kills collectively with about half a dozen different versions of the gun. And during that time, I've had matches like some of these that you're seeing on screen with the Forgiveness. I'm talking 60 plus kill games. Yeah, you heard that correct. That is games with more than 60 kills in a game mode where the game ends if your team collectively hits 100. I've had several 50-plus kill games. I've had over a dozen 40 bombs and numerous we ran out of medals with this weapon and almost a 40 kill streak. This isn't a flex. I always get people who come in here and they say, oh, you're true Vanguard. You could do that with a paperclip. And while I appreciate that sentiment, that is far from true. I feel like people give me far too much credit when they say things like that. I'll be the first to tell you that the level of success that I'm having with this sidearm is well above average for me. I have games like this here and there, but this week I've had them over and over and over as I lean into this weapon and leverage the things that make it good. So with all of that in mind, let's start discussing this question: why use anything other than Drang? Now, this isn't going to be a review of the Forgiveness. I already did that. This is going to be tackling that question. That's the heart of this video. So I'm going to come out of the gate with a strong statement here. And I am completely anticipating that I'll receive some pushback on this. And that's completely okay. I'm fully aware that adaptive sidearms have the best optimal TTK in the game for a primary. We're talking a 0.6 second time to kill if you hit all headshots with a Drang. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely love adaptive sidearms. But here's the strong statement. Drang isn't even the best adaptive sidearm in the game. As far as I'm concerned, the Drang is an exceptional weapon, I won't deny it, but it's not the best in its family. I have a Sunset Year 1 sidearm with a single perk instead of the now traditional 2 that, in my opinion, is better than Drang. I know this because it's so good that I still use it everywhere except trials, and you've probably seen it in some of my videos. It's the 18 Kelvins. Yeah, the Year 1 version of the 18 Kelvins is, in my opinion, better than the current Drang. Drang has less range, less stability, less aim assist, and worse recoil at base than 18 Kelvins. And now, yeah, you can tailor make your Drang to pass the 18 Kelvins in some of those categories, but you have to full send on some of them if you want to do it. And even then, 18 Kelvins is still going to edge it out in a number of other places. But to me, the kicker is that 18 Kelvins has kill clip too. And you're never going to be able to put out as much damage after a kill with Drang as you can the 18 Kelvins. If 18 Kelvins ever gets brought out of retirement, and don't say that it won't happen, they already did it for the Braytech Winterwolf, and even older weapons than that too. But if it comes back with random rolls, then Drang will be in trouble. But honestly, the Keening, it's out there too, and right now it's dropping with extra perks. With ARC 3.0 coming just around the corner, hang on to your good Keening drops. You may find yourself in a really good position next season if you do. The Keening has an absolutely massive perk pool. I've got one with Surplus and Zen Moment and a Range Masterwork, and I'm telling you that it's a really good weapon if you get a good roll. I've got a Moving Target Multi-Kill Clip one that I've been playing around with as well. I've got a Killing Wind and shoot, what's the other one? I forget off the top of my head. Snapshot, Killing Wind Snapshot. It's super responsive and zippy, so it's really good. You know, my Surplus one's got like 80 stability and 75 handling. It's seriously good. And the base recoil is literally 99 compared to Drang's 80. I feel like since this weapon had such a large perk pool when it first came out, it still does, but it had this massive perk pool, and farming it was difficult. You couldn't like target farm it. It got swept under the rug, but it's a hidden gem. And while Drang has a great perk pool for sure, it only has 12 perks total, while Keening has 24 perks in the perk pool. The Keening's first column has Killing Wind, Moving Target, Slide Shot, which is awesome for sidearms because as you slide into the engagement, you can take that first shot at a full meter sooner than normal for full damage, plus that plus 30 stability for less incoming flinch as you initiate that engagement. First column also has Slideways, Threat Detector, Surplus as well, which I still believe is an S tier perk because of it's literally free buffs to really important stat values for basically the whole match. The second column has Multi-Kill Clip, Snapshot, Zen Moment, High Impact Reserves, which by the way can pair really well with Under Pressure. In the first column, I've got a 91 stability Under Pressure High Impact Reserves roll on this thing, which is really fun to play with too. I mean, there's some really strong combinations on the Keening, and no one is using it because they trained themselves to delete Keening drops, and they're still doing it today. If you get a Keening to drop, stop. Take a moment to look at it because you're getting 2, 3, sometimes 4 extra perks on these drops right now, and you really want to inspect them before deleting them. So my first rebuttal to the question, why use anything except for Drang, is simply this. Because ARC 3.0 is coming. The Keening exists with other godly perk combinations, and as far as adaptives go, Drang doesn't automatically take the cake as the best in class. It depends on your build. Drang synergizes with some solar builds really well, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the best choice when you're not on a solar subclass or a specific build. There are other options on the table that, in my opinion, are just as good, and in some cases, like the 18 Kelvin's, actually better. And even though you can't use it in trials, you can use it everywhere else. You can use an Iron Banner, Quick Play, Clash, Rotating Playlist, whatever you want to play. 99% of your gaming, it's going to be fine for in Crucible. The second thing I'll say in regards to using something else is this. The adaptive frame sidearms have the best optimal TTK. Yes, we already established that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll yield consistently optimal results. One thing to keep in mind is this. The sidearms are not precision weapons. They're not. I mean, usually when you're using them, you're not even going to ADS and aim for the head the whole engagement. You're using them up close and personal while you and your enemy, or both of you, are both rolling and jumping and sliding, and he tosses up a barricade mid-duel, and you gotta jump over it and hip fire while flying through the air to finish him off. All that stuff is happening all the time while you're dueling using a sidearm. The optimal 0.6 second TTK on the adaptive frame sidearms is going to demand that you hit every headshot and no bodies, and do it in rapid succession if you want to hit that TTK. Every bullet needs to go to the dome if you want to achieve it. And listen, trust me when I say sidearm duels are not as straightforward as that. Oftentimes, you're peak shotting a fusion and timing your shots in between bursts, or you're baiting a shotgunner and managing your space and all those other factors. It's not like a hand cannon duel where you just slide out and you stand and you deliver a lot of times while you just strafe back and forth, pop, 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 shooting your shots. And those are pure dueling weapons where the guy with the better shot in the moment wins. That's kind of what hand cannons do. Sidearms, they aren't like that. Sidearm duels are just as often determined by space management and movement as they are personal accuracy. Basically, this means that the optimal TTK for Drang is rarely going to be a factor if you're dueling it. On paper and in practice, often differ greatly. Alternatively though, the aggressive 2-round burst sidearms like the Forgiveness you're seeing in the gameplay, these have the fastest body shot TTK of any primary type in the game at 0.83 seconds. The body shot TTK on adaptive sidearms is a full second. With the aggressive bursts, it's just straight up 3 bursts and they drop. They drop pretty fast. That means that unless the other guy has perfect accuracy with their Drang during your duel, then you're in good shape. And I'm finding that my moving target multi-kill clip Forgiveness is giving me some great consistency with my 2 burst kills in PvP right now. And I'm getting some great consistency out of my hit registration with that moving target buff to my strafe speed and aim assist. I don't know what it is about Drang, but so often I just find myself asking, where did that shot go? Why did that not connect? And with an adaptive sidearm, a shot missed is a serious hit to your TTK. And yeah, I have spent a lot of time with Drang this season. It's kind of what I do with sidearms. At the end of the day, here's what I really want to drive home. Drang is a top shelf sidearm. There's no denying that. But I certainly want to avoid saying it's hands down the best sidearm in the game. And I want to make sure that people are still finding the value in some of its competitors. Make an informed choice about what sidearm suits you best. Think about your build, your future builds, and think about integrating these sidearms into your actual duels and playing out potential scenarios so you know what to expect from your weapons and know its shortcomings too. I don't think it's as simple as many folks are making it out to be right now as they crown Drang the king and move on. Thanks so much for watching the video today. I'm excited on the heels of this discussion to tell you that I've officially started working on a major video that I've had people requesting me to make for literally a couple of years now, and I think it's the right time with the introduction of a new wave of sidearms that we recently got. It's time to finally complete my legendary sidearm tier list for PvP. It'll be chunky, so give me some time, be patient please, but I think some of my picks might surprise people and other picks won't surprise anybody at all. If you enjoyed the video today, please consider leaving a like on it, as it's the best free way to support content creators here on YouTube, and feel free to subscribe for additional Destiny 2 content. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.